You know, for so many of us, coffee is just everything. It's that ritual that starts the day. But what if I told you that not all coffee is created equal? Not even close. Okay, let's get right into it because we are about to pull back the curtain on what's really hiding in your morning cup. So let me ask you something. Do you ever get those weird jitters, that afternoon brain fog, or that big energy crash right after your coffee? We all tend to just blame the caffeine, right? But what if the real problem is the quality of the coffee itself? What if that daily habit is actually holding you back? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of the biggest, most popular coffee brands out there are just loaded with stuff you'd never ever choose to drink. I'm talking about hidden mold toxins, chemical residues, beans that are old and burnt to a crisp, and cheap filler beans that are all about profit, not about your health. To really understand what's going on, we need to know what to look for. So let's break down the 4 biggest red flags that separate a clean, awesome coffee from, well, a pretty questionable one. Okay, first things first. It all starts with the bean. You see, most of the big commercial brands use Robusta beans. Why? Well, they're cheap, they're super easy to grow, and they pack a caffeine punch. The downside, they're also harsh, bitter, and way more likely to have mold and other defects. Now, on the flip side, you've got Arabica beans. These are the good stuff, the premium beans. They're smoother, have more complex flavors, and the quality control is just on another level. So right off the bat, the type of bean tells you a whole lot. Now, here's a word you absolutely need to know: mycotoxins. And trust me, this is a huge deal. These are nasty little toxins that come from mold. And this mold loves to grow on cheap, poorly stored coffee beans. Yep, especially those Robusta beans we just talked about. And get this, they've been directly linked to that awful fatigue, that brain fog, and even inflammation that so many of us just assume is a normal side effect of drinking coffee. It's not. And then there's this guy, acrylamide. So this is a chemical that naturally forms when you roast coffee. But, and this is a big but, the levels of it can totally skyrocket when companies take low-grade, defective beans and just burn them. They over-roast them on purpose to hide all the bad flavors and create this uniform, bold taste. It's a trick, but it's a trick that comes with a price. So let's just quickly recap. The 4 red flags you gotta watch out for are: number 1, they use cheap Robusta beans. Number 2, there's a high risk of mycotoxins. 3, they over-roast the heck out of the beans to hide how bad they are. And 4, there's just zero transparency. You have no idea where the beans came from or if they were ever tested for anything. All right, now that you know the warning signs, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. We're going to do a quick rundown of 8 really popular brands that unfortunately check way too many of these negative boxes. Okay, first up, we have some real giants of the coffee aisle: Folgers and Maxwell House. Both rely heavily on those cheap Robusta beans and a super aggressive industrial over-roasting process. Ubon, which actually used to be pretty good, has totally switched over to cheap, stale beans, and good luck finding out where they come from. And Cafe Bustello, famous for that super strong kick, well, that kick comes from Robusta beans that have a high risk for mycotoxins, and they use an ultra-dark roast to mask, well, everything. And the list continues. That big tub of Kirkland coffee from Costco, it often suffers from stale, bulk-bought beans, potential mycotoxin issues, and it's just wildly inconsistent. Chock full of nuts? They basically built their brand on an extreme roast designed specifically to hide the taste of low-grade beans. And that McCabe coffee you buy in the grocery store, it is not the same stuff you get in the restaurant. It's made with stale, low-quality beans. And then we have Death Wish coffee. And when I say extreme, I mean it. A single cup of Death Wish coffee can have over 700 milligrams of caffeine. I mean, to put that in perspective, that is dangerously high. It's more than 3 times a normal cup of coffee. We're talking anxiety, heart palpitations. That whole world's strongest coffee thing comes with some pretty serious risks. Okay, I know that was a lot of bad news, but don't worry, it is not all doom and gloom. The whole point here is to arm you with knowledge. So now let's flip the script and talk about the solution. Let's talk about what actually makes a great, clean, healthy cup of coffee. It's actually pretty simple. Here are 4 things you can look for. First, look for any mention of third-party testing. That's your guarantee that the company's actually screening for mold and other toxins. Second, check the bag for a roast date. Not a best by date, a roast date. Freshness is everything. Third, make sure it says 100% Arabica.
And finally, look for transparency. Good brands are proud of their coffee and they want to tell you where it came from.
So what brands actually do all this stuff right? Now, look, there are tons of amazing local roasters out there you should definitely check out. But for now, here are two brands that are pretty widely available and consistently knock it out of the park. First up is Bulletproof. Now, what's so great about them is their obsession with purity. They actually publish their lab results online for anyone to see. That is huge. You can literally go check for yourself that the beans are free of mold and mycotoxins. They use high-quality, single-origin Arabica, and the result is just clean, steady energy. No jitters, no crash. Next up is Stumptown Coffee Roasters. These guys are kind of the gold standard for transparency and quality. They do direct trade, which means they have real partnerships with small farms. And this, right here, is a game changer. They print a specific roast date on every single bag, so you always know you're getting something fresh. They focus on small batch roasting, and you can taste the difference. It's just exceptional flavor without any of that burnt bitterness. So, after going through all this, it kind of makes you reconsider your morning cup, doesn't it? It's really not just a caffeine delivery vehicle. It's a product that can either be a plus for your health or a minus. And really, this is the bottom line. This is the big takeaway. That daily ritual you love should be something that genuinely supports you and makes you feel good. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your health just for that morning boost. You know, this quote just says it all perfectly. Choosing the right coffee can boost your energy, sharpen your focus, and actually support your health without the jitters, crashes, or mystery ingredients. Making that informed choice makes all the difference in the world. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you know what the red flags are and you know what to look for in a really great coffee, what are you going to choose to brew tomorrow morning?